filling in for Rush Limbaugh. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Steyn.
Yes, indeed. America's Anchorman is away, and this is your undocumented Anchorman, Mark Steyn, sitting in. And remember, it's racist to inquire about my immigration status, so don't even think about it. Or Eric Holder will sue you, and Hillary Clinton will report you as a human rights violation to the UN Human Rights Council. Undocumented and loving it. Rush is, he's on his annual golf vacation. The end of summer golf. He's not this guy, HR, who's responded. This, an unnamed golfer in California trying to hit a ball out of the rough, hit the ball off a rock. The spark from it caused a wildfire that devastated 12 densely wooded acres and required 150 firefighters to put it out. That wasn't Rush, was it? It's, well, you say HR says it sounds like his swing. I think the penalty. I'm not sure. I assume they resume the game after like once the stubble, once the brush and has all been cleared away in the charred ruins of the beautifully landscaped county that has been devastated. I assume they resume the game. But it's no surprise to find Rush on a golfing vacation because there's no doubt about it. I think golf does cause global warming, and I think this is pretty. I would build the whole business with the rainforest, right, in Brazil, that all the eco crowd are mad about. I wouldn't be the same thing. Somebody's down there, big golfing vacation, boom, there goes the rainforest. The Haitian earthquake. Wasn't Rush playing golf in the Dominican Republic around that time? It's the same island. Chips the ball over the border fence, boom. There you go, Haitian earthquake. Anyway, great to be with you. I've been out of the country for most of the recovery summer. I had to go overseas to recover from the recovery summer. I had a lovely villa at Marbella overlooking the beach closed off for Michelle Obama. So I had a great view of Secret Service men standing around holding the First Lady's shopping bags. It was very scenic. Anyway, I'm still re-acclimatizing. I flew into New York last night. The plane landed on schedule, so unfortunately I was in time to see Obama's speech, which we will discuss in this first hour of the show today. 1-800-282-2882. Seems to have been universally panned, that speech, but we will get to it and we will dissect it and we will discuss what it tells us about where the United States is going at this critical time. You know, I love it when I come back into the country. Don't get me wrong, I'm a sinister foreigner, but I love this country. But whenever I come back, one thing that drives me nuts is I go back to my beloved state of New Hampshire, which is one of the most beautiful states on God's green earth. And there's more signs. Every time I've been away and I land, there's more signs along the highway. The whole state is like some kind of Burma Shade theme park now. You're never out of sight of a sign. They've got on remote rural highways now, they're introducing not mile markers, but fifth of a mile markers. Fifth of a mile marker. So you're never out of sight of a fifth of a mile marker sign. And in between them, no doubt at some point, they'll put up one of those stupid signs that says there's a fifth of a mile marker sign approaching. That's the other thing that's crazy about it. Crazy. Have you seen these stop sign approaching signs? So you have the stop sign, and then before you have the stop sign, you have a sign that says there's a stop sign approaching. And I don't know whether it's well, it may be stimulus money, because it can't all have gone for the signs just saying this sign is brought to you by the Obama stimulus package. They're having some other signs in there. Then you got the sign for the stop sign approaching, then you got the stop sign. 100 yards before the stop sign approaching sign, you've got a sign saying that there's a stop sign approaching. I don't get this. I live in the most beautiful state in the world, the Connecticut River. That's a beautiful river. You can't see it. You can't see the Connecticut River because of all the signs saying this designated scenic heritage river brought to you by the Commission for America's Watery Heritage Rivers. All the way along. People talk about, we're going to talk about spending later in the show. People keep, and when you talk about getting government spending under control, people always say, oh, well, you conservatives talk about that. But actually, when you look at all these individual programs, people like the programs. So there's no fat to cut out of the budget. Well, let's start with the stop sign approaching signs. Why don't we start by taking out the budget for stop sign approaching signs? It's just a small little thing there. Just any sign with the word approaching in it. Any sign that is, in fact, just an announcement for a forthcoming sign. Let's just start with that. Why don't we take that out of the budget? Imam Rauf, that's the other thing. That's the other thing I find. We might get into this Ground Zero Mosque business as well. But before we do, this Imam, he's out of the country. He announced today he was cutting short his trip overseas and flying back in to deal with some of the bad publicity about the Ground Zero Mosque. Now, I'm interested to know whether he's got one of those airline tickets where you've got to pay a penalty when you change your flights. Because who's paying for that? You are. You're paying for him to go and tour this Middle Eastern tour he's on. Now, you think to yourself, what is this Imam Rauf doing on this Middle Eastern tour? He's funded by the State Department, and it comes under the budget item of multi-faith outreach. Well, wait a minute. He's a Muslim, and all the people he's going to talk to are Muslims. Where's the multi-faith bit? This multi-faith outreach, why couldn't we send them Jackie Mason to talk to the imams? Why couldn't we send that gay bishop the Episcopal Church is all hot for? Where's the multi-faith outreach in sending a Muslim imam to swank around the Middle East at your expense, talking to other Muslims? He's not telling the big shot imams he meets with anything they haven't heard. Why do we have to pay for that? It's just a small thing. So we take out the stop sign approaching signs out of the budget, and we take the imams touring the Middle East, multi-faith outreach, talking to people of the same faith. We just take any multi-faith program that involves people of faith A talking to other people of faith A out of the budget. Right there, you got a little bit of savings. His wife. People say, oh, well, we're opposed to this because this imam and what he stands for is incompatible with American values. He's as American as apple pie. He's living off the government. He's figured it out. You can't get more assimilated than that. And not only that, his wife, Daisy Khan, the imam's wife. Did I just say Daisy? Oh, good cue for a song. Daisy, give me your State Department funding due. Daisy Khan is also on the government multi-faith outreach. She's touring. So they like the Steve and Edie of the State Department Global Jet Set, or whatever they call them now. That's outmoded cultural reference. So we got to update those. Brangelina. They're like Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie of the International Imam Circuit. You've got Imam Rauf and the lovely Daisy touring around the world. State Department expense multi-faith outreach to people of the same faith. There's no point in paying for this. We got to get this stuff under control. This is all a complete waste of money, and America is broke. And it hasn't got money for the stop sign approaching signs anymore, and it hasn't got the money to send imams to talk to other imams. This is like Kipling. Kipling said, "East is east and west is west, and there the twain shall meet." Well, now they've met. And what happens? You get the worst of both worlds. So you get radical imams on the government dole. Now, say what you like about like an imam in Waziristan, but if he wants to go and stay in a 5-star hotel in Dubai, he's got to do it on his own dime. He can't just stick it to the American taxpayer the way Imam Rauf and Daisy can. So this is the kind of spending that this poor broke country has got to just chop out. It's got to take a huge axe to all this stuff and grind it back, and government should be paying for stuff that is necessary. And we don't need signs saying there's a stop sign approaching. We don't need signs saying there's a government-funded imam approaching. All this stuff should be the way we begin to skim off, just to show we're serious about not beggaring the future of this great country. We're going to discuss Obama's speech and lots more, and take tons of your calls. Steyn in for Rush on the EID network. You see this Obama speech last night, marking supposedly the end of combat operations in Iraq. He was speaking from the Oval Office, so he wasn't standing and doing that double teleprompter ping pong where his head twists in direction to direction in conquer, quite like he's watching the world's slowest rally at Centre Court at Wimbledon. He looked like he didn't want to be there. He looked like he didn't want to be there, and he sounded like an unmanned drone. He had those pursed lips as the speech went on, as if he was sort of becoming aware there was a guy under the desk twisting a pineapple at his bottom. It was the most bizarre performance, most bizarre. What I was struck by was that not the characteristic gracelessness in the speech. He made a reference. This is supposed to be, by the way, the graciousness of President Obama, but he said, quote, "This afternoon I spoke to former President George W. Bush. It's well known that he and I disagreed about the war from its outset. Yet no one can doubt President Bush's